YouTube, what's good everybody? It's your boy Kenny Zeus back with another video. And in today's video we got a little special video. We got a little tips and tricks from me, somebody who's going through it, somebody who's been through the process when it's coming to the combine, when it's coming to the interview process, when it's coming to all that. I'm here to give you my best advice on what to do in the certain situations. First we're going to probably start with the combine, then we're going to go throughout the video a little later, go through the interviews. The gameplay is just me and George playing some too, so you don't got to mind it too much. Just here to talk about what you should do. So if you don't know, they had a little event. If you didn't know, I don't think there's any more tournaments. There is still ways to get into the combine. It is hashtag 2K League dropping. I'll make sure that they leave a link in the description, so if you're looking to get in the combine, you can. Now basically what you really want to do is, if you're already in the combine, you already qualify, you want a PSN, you want a P5 tourney, an Xbox tourney, or you qualify through the event center. Basically in the combine, man, they're not there to see who can drop 40 or who can get the most rebounds or things like that. They're there to see how you react when you're not in a comfortable situation. So like, you're playing with different people, some people you might know, some people you may know. They're just trying to see like who you are as a person. How do you react when you're losing? How do you react when things aren't going your way? How do you react to people you never talked to before? How do you react when you're uncomfortable? Things like that. So they have like people in there, I mean not people in there, they have like a little bot in there, and it records everything. So that's what really GMs and coaches are looking for during the combine. Now obviously your stats matter a little bit. You can't go out there and shoot 0 for 10 from the 3-point line wide open and expect like, hey, I played good, because you're missing wide open. People don't want to see that. But playing good doesn't matter as much as like how you are as a person. A lot of teams are looking for people that are not only good at 2K, but who really like have a personality, have something they can offer, somebody that's not going to be trouble in the locker room, things like that. So teams aren't just looking at 2K skill anymore. They're looking at a bunch of things. So maybe they need a leader. Maybe they're looking at like, are you a leader? Are you this? Are you that? But my best advice going into the combine is going with an open mind. Like, don't go in there thinking like, playing with these dudes, probably not that good. I mean, that may be true, that may not be true, but you can't go in there with that mindset. You go in there with a bad mindset, it's just gonna go bad regardless. So I highly don't recommend doing that. I went in there open-minded. I think my combine record was 8-8. I think we played 16 games. Whatever it was, I won as many games as I lost. Like day one, I went like 1-4. Then the next day, I went like, I think it was 1-3. Sorry, 1-3. Then the next day, I went like 3-1. Then the next day, I went 2-2, and then the next day, I went 2-2 again. So I went number 3 overall. So they can't tell you that your combine record really matters that much. Maybe I just show teams like, hey, this is who I am as a person and things like that. And another thing you want to do is you want to like tweet out like, hey, I'm playing the combine, or tweet your stream link, make YouTube videos, things like that. Because also another part with the combine process is like, that's not the final piece. Like, going through the combine isn't the final piece of pre-draft. You still have to play. You still have to promote yourself and talk, because people are watching. A thing about me is, I started off hot early. Like, I was probably one of the best prospects coming in, but I kind of slowed down as the process was finishing. And the number 1 pick, Gallo, he came in. He went really hot like the last month and a half of pre-draft, and went really crazy. And Gallo's really good. I'm not knocking him at all, but that's what he did. He kept going hot. Maybe I would have been the number 1 pick if I would have kept going as hard as I was. Who knows? So things like that. So just make sure you continue the process. It's a long process, man. So you just gotta make sure you keep at it. Another thing is like, another thing prospects really struggle with that I could tell a lot, and like, it wasn't hard for me because maybe it's just like a natural thing for me, but a lot of people I think feel like the interview process is like terrifying or like intimidating. Don't let it intimidate you, bro. Just go in there, be yourself, and good things are gonna happen. That's all I did. I went in there And man, if the coach was joking with me, I was joking with him. If it was very professional, I was very professional. So you kind of got to just read the room, read the environment, like see what it was. Man, the interview process was really fun. Like if I could do something over again as being a prospect, it would definitely 100% be the interview process, because man, the interview process was so fun. Talking to so many people and everything was just so fun. And another thing, man, do not, and I mean do not, try to miss your interviews. Like, be on time, be 5-10 minutes early, because you feel what I'm saying? That's their time. If you're late for an interview, how do they know you're not going to be late for practice? Things like that. So you got to keep that in mind, and never schedule interviews back to back, because like, man, I tell you, I had an interview. I try to keep my interview. I try to have one interview a day, maybe two, and they were like 2-3 hours spaced out, because when you're doing the interviews, you might have a really good conversation with the coach, and that interview go on. So if you having 30-minute interviews, are usually like 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So if you schedule it like right on top of each other, how are you gonna have a good interview and make sure you're not late to the other one? Now I will say that I did make a mistake, and you want to try not to make this mistake, but put an interview on the wrong date. I put an interview for the day after that my interview was, so make sure you're organized and make sure you keep up with like when your interviews are. Now I couldn't believe I had missed the first interview, because like I didn't set my alarm, and I'm a gamer, so I have a gamer schedule, so I wake up at like 2 or 3 if I don't set an alarm. I had an interview at 12. I missed the interview, didn't even know I had an interview that day, and so I ended up texting the guy and told him like, hey, yeah, I didn't know I had my interview today. I had it for here. I showed him. He said, I totally understand. We rescheduled it. It's good. And just make sure you're upfront about it, and don't try to make up a silly excuse like my dog ate my homework type of excuse. Just be upfront. Just be honest. And those interviews ended up going really good. So like, the one thing I can really recommend is just being yourself. Oh, another thing. Make sure you asking questions. It's not only an interview for them, it's an interview for you. How do you know you want to go there and be with this team? Or if you don't ask any questions, like ask how it's like for me, I asked how's life in Dallas? Like what is it like? What are things you do? And things like that. Like ask questions, because they want to see that too. They want to see you engaged. You don't want one sentence answers or things like that. Like you gotta, it's just having a normal conversation. Don't overthink it. Like that's what I try to tell everybody. Just don't overthink it. Just go in there and be you. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's really easy, but if you just go in there and be yourself, it's gonna come to you. You're not even gonna think you in an interview. You're just gonna think you talking to someone randomly. So that's my best advice. Now dressing professional and things like that, I think that's like over the top. Cause me personally, I didn't do it. I wore a hoodie to all my interviews, but that was just me. Like that's just who I was. That was my personality. I love sweatshirts. I love hoodies. So that's what I wore to all my interviews. And it's just, you gotta know who you're talking to. Most of the coaches that I interviewed with were younger, so like I knew they wouldn't trip out too much because I was wearing a hoodie or just casual attire. So just know who you're talking to, and that's probably my best advice I got for you guys. Honestly, that's really everything that I did, my mindset. But like I said, man, make sure you guys are streaming everything or posting on YouTube with comms. That way people can see. A lot of people like to hear how you talk in game and things like that. If you have any other questions, like feel free to reach out to me. I try to respond to all my DMs and give the best advice I can. Without further ado, man, this will wrap up the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always down to answer any questions. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I hope it helped. I'm out. Peace.